Hello everyone, Alan VC here, and today we're gonna create this animated timeline slide in PowerPoint. Let's get started. So to get this done, I have summarized the most important settings on this slide, just to make our job easier. Now the first step will be to create a new slide and delete the default design. We won't need it anyways. Now let's change the background color so it matches our design. To do that, right-click anywhere on the slide and click on Format Background. Now click on Gradient Fill. In my case, since I've been working in this presentation, PowerPoint is adding my desired colors automatically, but you will probably have more gradient stops and different colors. To remove those additional stops, just click on them and click on this small button here. Also, you can hit the backspace on your keyboard. Now that we have only 2 gradient stops, let's go back to the settings, because here we have everything we need for our background. Now, just to show you how to get this done, let's suppose I have to change the color scheme. So all I have to do is to copy this code over here. Now let me go back to my new slide, click on the gradient stop, and open this small drop-down menu. Now let me go to More Colors, and here I will have a little space to paste the color code. Let me hit OK, and I'm done. In your case, you will just need to do the same thing with the dark color. So let's continue. Here we also have the values for the transparency and the position of the gradient stops. Now let's go back to our new slide, and we just need to change the corresponding values on these fields. By now, let me add a title for my slide. To save some time, I will use the same title I have here. Of course, you will create your own title. So let me copy this and paste it over here. Now I have to add these yellow boxes and the icons we have here, but we will start with the boxes under the yellow ones. So to do this, let's go to our slide and click on Insert, Shapes, and select this rounded rectangle. Okay, we have it. And let's change its background color so it looks like this one. We just need to copy this code. Okay, Solid Fill. Open the drop-down, More Colors, and paste the code. Done. Let's add an inner shadow. And now it's time to change the border color. So to do that, we are gonna use the values we have here. Let's now click on our shape, go to the line section, and click on Gradient Line. Here we have some gradient stops we don't need, so let's get rid of them. And let's change the colors to match our color palette. Let's copy the light color and paste it here. And we're gonna do the same with the dark color. Okay, now we need to change the transparency, brightness, and the position of the gradient stops. Finally, let's change this angle, and we have a beautiful rounded shape here, as you can see. Now go to Insert, Icons, and here we will have a huge selection of icons to choose from. You will certainly find something here for your industry. So let me see. Okay, let's insert this one. Change its size. And move it here. Now we need to change the color so it looks like this one. So let's copy this color code and paste it here. And let's change the alignment. Okay, so now let's group everything and hit Ctrl D to add the rest of boxes we need. We will need to distribute the shapes horizontally, like this. And by the way, don't you worry about spacing, we will fix that in a second with the alignment tool. So, let's see. So let's distribute these shapes horizontally, and let's create a group to center the boxes in the middle of this slide. Awesome. Okay, ungroup. And now let's change the icon for each box. You already know how to find your own icons. In my case, to save some time, I will just copy the icons I have on the first slide. So let me move these yellow boxes. And I will select, copy and paste the icons over here. Let me replace these icons. Probably I will need to ungroup once again. And now I will be able to delete these icons to use the new ones. I will now align the icons to the center. You already know how to do this, right? You just need to go to Arrange, Align, Align Center, Arrange again, Align, Align Middle. We have done it a couple times before, so I will skip this part to save you some time. Once you have all the icons aligned, you will need to group each box with its corresponding icon. Again, this is something we have done a couple times, so I'm positive you already know how to do it. And for that reason, I will skip this part as well. Okay, so now let's go to this selection pane, and we are going to name each group so it is easier for us to identify each element when we add the corresponding animations. To name the element, click on it so it gets highlighted. Double click on the name and change it to whatever you want. Next, we need to create our yellow boxes, which will look like this one. To do that, we are going to copy this box we've already created and remove the icon. Now let's change the way it looks by using the values we have here. Let's start with the color. So right-click, Format Shape, and let's open the drop-down menu to paste the color code. Now we need to change the shadow. So let's click here and select this outer shadow. We need to remove the outline. And now let's add a shadow like this to this other side. So let's duplicate the shape with Ctrl D. And let's add the shadow. So click on Presets and select this one. Now we need to change the color, so copy this code. This is basically the code for white. Let's go to Shadows, open the drop-down menu, More Colors, Custom, and paste the code here. Finally, let's change the transparency and align everything to the middle. Let's group. And let's use Ctrl D to add the rest of the shapes we need. Now we will need to move our shapes to the corresponding position. Just make sure they cover the blue shape completely. Let me do the rest quickly. And let's take a look. Yeah, looks good. I like it. Let's move the shapes and add the corresponding icons. We will basically copy each icon from the blue box, change its color to white, and place it inside the corresponding yellow box. Here, to save some time, I will copy the icons I have on the first slide. So let me ungroup this thing. To copy the icons and paste them over here. Let me move them a little bit and adjust the alignment. Done. Now I'm going to group each box with the corresponding icon, and I will name each group as we did with the blue boxes, with the only difference that I will add the word on to the name of the element. Let's move them back to their position. And now it's time to add some animations. We will use fade-in animations here. So let's go to the animation pane and change the start to on click just to make a test. Let me adjust the position for these boxes. And let's open the presentation. Yep, I like it. Now we need to add a small yellow bar that will help us to move from one yellow box to the next one. This yellow bar will be here, and it is supposed to be shorter than the yellow box, but larger than the gap between boxes, so it can move like this and connect each box with the next one. Okay. So let me zoom in to adjust the size and fix the alignment. Now let's remove the outline and change the color to match this one. So let's go to this slide and copy the color code. Okay, let's paste it here. And now we have our yellow bar ready. By the way, I will delete this animation, we won't need it. And now let's add the animation for our yellow bar. So go to Animations, Add Animation, Lines. Change the direction to the right. Click on this red bubble, press Shift, and move it over here. Now let's duplicate the yellow bar. Okay, we need 5. And let's adjust their position. Okay, next let's go to the animation pane to change the order in which these animations will be executed. So the first yellow bar will move on click, And we're going to change the start of this animation to with previews. We will also add a delay of 0.3. And let's move the other animations. So let me see, this second bar is supposed to introduce the yellow box with the target icon on it. And change the start here to with previews. Let's add the delay. And let's move the rest of them. Here we have our 3 bars, and now we need to change the start for these yellow boxes to with previews, and add the corresponding delay. Let's now play the animations to see how they work. Okay. We will need to fix a couple things here. First, let's fix the alignment. So, align middle, and I think it would be better if the yellow bars move faster, so let's change the duration of their animations to 0.7. Okay, let's see. Yes, much better. Let me just send these bars to back. And let's move them to their corresponding position. Let's take a look. I like it. What do you think? Let's now add some text to our timeline. And fix their alignment. Now we need to change the name of each text box and add the corresponding animations. These will be lines as well. Again, while holding Shift, click on each red bubble and adjust the length of each animation. Done. Now we need to send everything to back and move the text boxes to their required position. Let's take care of the animations once again. So we are going to select all the animations and change their start to with previews. Let's change the duration once again to 0.7, and now let's fix the execution order. So the first text box will show up as soon as we open the slide. The second one will wait for the second yellow box. And we will also move the third one, number 4, number 5, and the last one. The next step is to add this box and the text we will show inside of it, as well as these connectors over here. So let's do it. First, we need to do something here. We are going to add some empty text boxes that will help us add the connectors. Okay, now let's add a rounded rectangle like this. And let's fix the alignment. Now let's go back to Format Shape, and here on Line, let's go to Dash Type. Let's choose this one, and let's change the color and remove the fill. Okay, so it is time now to add the connectors between our empty boxes and this box over here. Just let me make this bigger. Okay, and let's go to Insert, Shapes, Connector. Now we will join the empty text box with our big box. Okay, let's change the color to light gray. And now we just need to copy, paste, and adjust each connector. Now let's add the animation. So go to Animations, Add Animation, Fade In. Let's change the start once again to With Previews. And now let's change the name of each connector. Next, let's go back to the animation pane to change the order of execution. So the first connector will show up as soon as we open the slide. The second one will fade in as the second yellow box shows up. We also need to move number 3, 4, and 5. Now to make these connectors look better, let's click on them, go to Format Shape, and change the begin arrow type as well as the end arrow type. Okay, much better. Now we also need these connectors to disappear when the next one shows up, right? So let's select everything and go to Add Animation. Whenever you want to add 2 animations to the same object, make sure you click on Add Animation, because if you click on the animations being offered over here, you will be replacing the animation the object already has, instead of adding one more animation to the object. So that being said, let's click on Disappear and change the start to With Previews. Now let's move the animations so they get executed in the correct order, because each connector is supposed to disappear when the next one shows up, right? So the chart connector will disappear when the target connector fades in. The target connector will disappear when the briefcase connector fades in, and so on. The blocks connector will never disappear because this will be the last one to show up. So let's delete the animation. At this point, we are just missing the text we will put inside our big box. So let's go to Insert, Text Box, and let me type some dummy text here. Of course, you add the text you need here. Okay, let me change the font type and the color. Now let me add some additional text boxes and change their names on the selection pane. Okay, we are going to fix the alignment. And move it over here. Now let's add the animation. So go to Animations, Add Animation, Fade In. Change the start to With Previews. Okay. As always, the first statement will show up as soon as we open the slide. The second one will show up when the second yellow box fades in. And the same logic applies for the rest of them. Now we also need the statements to disappear when the next statement shows up, so let's add the animations. Let's select everything and click on disappear. Now let's change the start to with previews, and we will need to modify the execution order. So once again, the first statement will disappear when the second statement shows up, the second one when the third one shows up, and so on. Finally, the last statement will never disappear, so let's delete the animation, and we are done. Time to take a look at the result. Awesome, I hope you like it, and this is how you create an animated timeline in PowerPoint. That's all for now, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get a notification whenever I submit a new video. Take care, and see you next time.